It is 13 minutes after the hour, 69 degrees in downtown Sylacauga here on a Thursday morning, the 20th day of June. We're joined by Sylacauga City Councilman District 3, Nate Boom Boom Brewer. In the flesh.
Good morning, Jimmy.
Good morning, sir. And a lot of happenings with the Sylacauga City Council. You just came through a meeting, yesterday or day before yesterday?
Yes, sir. We had our monthly meeting Tuesday, and we handled a lot of different situations, and we recognized the 6U state championship teams and the 11-year-old state championship teams, which are going to the World Series as part of the Sylacauga Parks and Rec. And
that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. Those children need to be recognized just like everybody else does for their accomplishments. So we was able to do that, and we was able to handle some other business also.
So where are we as far as, have we named a new police chief, or are we in the process of naming one? Or
well,
what?
I'm going to tell you what we've done. The mayor has made Captain Rondell Muse the interim.
Okay.
Captain Rondell has been in the police business for over 30 years. Rondell has a lot of experience. Rondell is well known in this community. Rondell is a wonderful person. He is the interim. I'm thinking around end of July, 1st of August, they will test. There are some other folks in-house that are qualified to be police chief. They'll test. The Civil Service Board will send us over the highest test scores. The mayor will make a recommendation, then the city council will go from there. So,
can people outside our community apply as well?
Not right now. They can't, because it's not open to the outside. Because the Civil Service Board and the city's rules say they want you to go in-house first, which is a good thing. They want you to go in-house first, and then if nobody passes the test or whatnot, then you can open it up outside.
Yeah. Here we are in the summertime. No swimming pool.
No pool, Jimmy Dale. No pool.
And I saw this poll that Paul had put out on what's going on around Sylacauga, and a lot of people commenting, and most of the comments, I must say, they were varied, and people not happy about this.
Well, here's the thing, Jimmy Dale, and I'm glad Mr. Paul does that, and I'm glad we have social media. Everyone doesn't look at social media. We need people that are concerned to come to these council meetings and make their voices be heard. Your council members need to hear from you. Everyone won't scroll.
You work for us.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole reason we went in office, is to take care of your needs and what you want. So if we don't hear from you by a phone call, or you come to the meetings, then we can't help you. We don't understand where you're coming from. I've been in office for going on 4 years now. We've had people with concerns come to the council meeting. We always address those concerns. Either we address it then, or that councilman that is responsible for that district calls that person. But we always don't look on social media, because we all have jobs and kids and families that we have to attend to. Now, I know some, and I do some. I look at it some to try to help out with my people, but a lot of my people don't have social media. Mm-hmm. A lot of my people are in not our older generation, but our generation that they believe just picking up the phone or believing says, hey, can you come by here and see me? Not putting all their business or all their stuff out there on social media.
And a lot of people watch this show.
And a lot of people watch Daybreak, and a lot of people listen to the radio, and they read the Sylacauga Today. So, and that's a good plus that we have in our little town, that we have resources like TV 47 and Sylacauga Today and B101 that gets our news out there where people can see it, hear it, and then they can make a good judgment whether they need to call their council member whether I like this, or hey, look, I really don't like this. I really wish you wouldn't vote for this.
All kind of numbers floating around out there from this poll about the cost of this.
Well, here's the thing, Jimmy Dale. Let me go and break that down for you, okay? The architects presented a big plan, okay? And that big plan was around $30 million, okay? We're not going to be able to afford, I don't think, a $30 million recreational facility, plus do the rest of our paving, our infrastructure, our sidewalks, finish the Lake Howard Bridge so we can get the equipment across the bridge to pave the Lake Howard Road. We're not going to be able to do all that, I don't think. Now, they presented the big number because that was the big project. Okay, now what you've got to do, and this is our next meeting, the next meeting, we've got to agree on a number that we need to borrow.
So this next meeting, people with these concerns that are posting on Facebook, they need to come to the meeting.
They need to come to the meeting so they can hear from the finance manager, which is the city clerk, so they can hear from the finance manager how much money you got, how much the payments are going to be, what's the interest, and what you can afford. Now, when I was running for office, and a lot of the other council members, I am sure, we pledged to be good stewards of the taxpayers' money. And that is what we're supposed to do, Jimmy Dale. Because that's not my money.
Right.
That's your money, and that's everybody else's money that I have to be accounted for. And I told the people that I personally would try to spend it in the right places, doing the right thing, so everybody would have good quality of life. Because here's the thing, Jimmy Dale, let's be real. There's not going to be a whole lot of 70, 80-year-old people that are going to be able to get to the center. That are going to be able to go swimming, but everybody can walk and ride the sidewalks. Everybody can ride the streets. Everybody deserves to have good drainage. Everybody deserves to have those things. So, and I'm not saying it's the right timing to build this, but I am saying we've got council members, and you know it takes 3 to do anything. We've got council members that are ready to move forward. So, instead of being outvoted.
Do we have 3 that are ready to move forward?
Yes, you've got 3 or 4 that's ready to move forward. And look, I want this bigger than anybody. I've always wanted a recreational center. I didn't like the spot at the time, but I've always wanted a recreational center. I've always wanted our people to have a swimming pool. And Jimmy Dale, if this is the only way we can do it, it's my job, just like the sales tax. I voted no against the sales tax because I knew my people couldn't afford it. But it's my job to make sure we spend that money in the right places.
Mayor Heigl sat right where you are a week ago and said that sales tax increase hadn't worked the way we had hoped it would.
No, you're only at one. We've only got like $1,008,000, $1,009,000 in right now. It has not got the $4 million
that we projected.
That was projected in 2018 and 2019. It didn't happen. Don't know where those numbers come from. It's not my job to find out where those numbers come from. I think some council members and some other administration before us got together and tried to project those numbers. Well, it didn't happen. So now you've got to kind of backtrack and put your numbers where they do fit. You know, we took out a resolution where fire, street, PD, debt service, paving, infrastructure, recreational, they all get a percentage every month of whatever comes in. But here's what people don't understand, Jimmy Dale. This week, you may get $1,500 in tax revenue, okay? The next week, you may get $25,000 in tax revenue because the Governor Ivey says as long as you have it in to all businesses, as long as you have it in by the end of the month, it doesn't matter. So you're not having it on a certain day, you just got to have it by the end of the month now. So, and that kind of throws things off there. But look, we're in good financial shape. But the councilwoman Nix, which is doing a fabulous job as our president. She is running these meetings the way they're supposed to be ran. She's holding everybody accountable. She's making sure that things are on the agenda that really need attention. And she has said, and we've all agreed, we've got to slow down the spending. We've got to cut spending right now until we get to October, until we can do, till we get our new budget and we can do some other things. So Tuesday night, we decided to go with an underwriter, and the underwriter is the guy that does the bond. He is the bond company. It's going to be Sandler and Piper. That's not who I wanted because they are $222,000 higher than Frazier and Lanier. Frazier and Lanier is a company that has done bonds for the city before. They actually worked with Mayor Cleveland and worked with Mr. John Hamm when he was city clerk. They said they could get this done in 6 months once they got to go ahead. Sandler Piper said it's going to take them 9 months. The proposals were very clear. I couldn't go to bed at night knowing that I had took $222,000 out of the taxpayer's mouth and gave it to somebody else. Now, I know the city's been using Walter since 2016. I've never had any dealings with Walter and Sandler and Piper. Walter Lewis is a guy that is a wonderful person. He handles he's the marketing manager for Sandler and Piper. They started using them in 2016, 2017, and I think Rocky and some of that administration used him, and it just kind of spilled over. So that's what they're going to do. That's why I voted no to use him, because that company is higher than what they need to be. I mean, you're looking at paying that company $12.50 per $1,000.
How much money, and I asked the mayor this, we've wasted money.
Jimmy Dale, there's been a lot of monies wasted on studies and surveys because some things wasn't done right to start with. The council's jumped the gun in 2017, 18 before I even got elected. But it all goes back, Jimmy Dale. If people want to get down to it, it all goes back to 2013, 14, 15 before then, because the Parks and Rec, Mr. Jim Armstrong asked every year for extra money to help with that pool. He never got the extra money, so he had to patch and do the best he could. Okay, well, you see what we got now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it goes back further than 2016. It goes back further than 2015 and 14. It goes on back to when they first started having trouble. The Parks and Rec has always done a real good job of taking care of our things, okay? They tried to fix this and keep it going, but without the money to keep it going, I mean, it's kind of tough. I mean, that's a big pool. You can't just keep patching and expect it not to come apart.
Well, people are asking, hey, we spent untold thousands of dollars on studies for this splash pad.
Absolutely. The splash pad deal, I come in right in the middle of all that. I knew that wasn't a good idea. That's one of the reasons I ran. Everybody can't benefit from a splash pad. That they was using EDT to come up with all these drawings and what they wanted to do, and they did. They come up with a drawing that was about, they said it was going to cost them $300-something thousand, and they set aside for it. Well, when the drawings come in, it was $700,000, and the council said, whoa, we can't do that. So then everybody kind of backed up. So that's all I know on that. I knew that wasn't a good idea from the jump.
When you talked about earlier about taking care of the taxpayers' money, and you know, the monies that have been spent over the last 2 or 3 years or 4 years or however long it's been about studies for surrounding this pool, just surrounding the pool, and here we are with the pool sitting there that's not going to be used probably.
That's right.
And then we've got this other giant plan we've got that we don't know when that might come to fruition.
Well, here's the deal. The old pool has got to be something recreational. Mr. Masters is working with LWCF to see what can go there, to see what can be done. The new recreational facility is going to have an indoor pool in it. It's going to have a gym and, some other stuff in it. Jimmy Dale, I don't know when it's going to be built.
Yeah.
I know this. We got to make sure we can afford it before we do anything. Right. We can't jump the gun and rush this thing because that's how mistakes are made. We got to figure out if we can afford it. Then we got to figure out how much it's going to take to staff it and how much it's going to take to run it year in and year out. And that's the joy of having a finance manager, which is the city clerk, that tells you how much money's coming in, how much money you've got going out, so she can kind of help you and guide you in what you can and what you can't afford.
You mentioned a little bit earlier, it's just not the pool situation. We've got all kind of issues in our city, including streets that are falling apart.
Here's the thing, Jimmy Dale. I know the council took out a bond in 2016, 2017. The council before us to pave some streets. Well, they weren't able to get all of them. And here's the thing. Reed Calfee, our street superintendent, said you could give him $10 million and he could spend it on paving and still couldn't get on. We have a lot of streets and a lot of side streets here. So we want to finish our paving project the best we can. We want to spend about $3.5–4 million on paving. We want to finish our infrastructure, which is our drainage, because we've got the drainage downtown fixed. Well, we need to get the drainage fixed on the outside town because it all flows together. And we've got some bridges that need some work. So you're right. We have a lot of things in the town that needs fixed, and we've got some city-owned buildings like City Hall and the museum that hasn't been taken care of the way it should have over the years. When you get a hard rain, you've got leaks coming in everywhere. Those buildings have got to have new roofs. Some of them's got to have new roofs, which is the museum's getting one this week. And City Hall needs to be waterproofed. You know, we've got a lot of different things that need to be done in the city, but you only have one shot to do it, Jimmy Dale. I mean, this bond has got to build something.
Talk about that bond.
This bond has got to build a recreational facility, and it's got to build, it's got to help with the paving, the bridges, infrastructure, which is drainage, and it's also got to help with sidewalks. I mean, we've got sidewalks. I've got a lot of elderly people here in town. They ride their wheelchairs to the grocery store. They ride their wheelchairs to the pharmacy. We've got to have sidewalks so they can get back and forth. I mean, that's their transportation. They're not going to drive across town to go to recreational facilities, but we could at least either fix our sidewalks and or make some sidewalks so they can get to the drugstore.
How does a bond work?
Well, here's what you do. A bond, you hire an underwriter, okay, which has been done. Then the council gets together, figure out how much money you want to take out. It's kind of like a loan, how much money you want to take out. Well, then they calculate the interest rate, and then you pay it back over 30 years. So say you take out a $30 million loan, you're going to be paying $1,800,000 once a year for 30 years. You do the math, you're looking at 50-something that you're going to have to pay back. So that's where you really have to get into it. You know, it's kind of like when you buy a car. You buy that car, you're paying $700 a month for 6 years. Well, you may be paying $10,000, $20,000 in interest. It's common economics. Nobody looks at the interest you're just going to be paying back. It's just what I've got sitting here in front of me. So, and look, if we do a big bond, it's going to tie us up for a little while. It's going to tie the next, I hope I'm still here. I hope and pray my people still vote for me because I think I've done a good job by them and I love them and I try to take care of them. But you do this, you're going to tie, including myself, you're going to tie the next administration's hands for a little while. This is a big bond. This will be over 30 years that you'll be dealing with. So you kind of have to look, there's a lot of different pieces to the puzzle that you have to look at.
So when will a decision be made?
Jimmy Dale, we're going to meet the next council meeting. We're going to meet at 4 o'clock. I encourage all of you to be there. We're starting at 4 o'clock at the Fayhosey Council Chamber. We're going in the meeting, and we're going to sit here, and we're going to try to hash this out. What we can afford, what we can't afford, what we really need to put it to. You know, the mayor gave us a list that's $10 million worth that he wants to see done. And we're going to have to prioritize that list.
Right.
We're going to have to go through and paving infrastructure, bridges, waterproofing City Hall, getting some things done that need done. We're not going to be able to do it all, but we're going to have to prioritize that, and because everybody in this city deserves a good quality of life. If I cannot try to give all of our people a good quality of life, I need to go home, Jimmy Dale. If I cannot make sure I spend their money the way it needs to be spent, I need to go home. And that's what I'm trying to do here, is make sure I spend, because sometimes you get outvoted, and that's okay. It's a free country. So therefore, you got to make sure you can help spend the taxpayers' money wisely, and they get what they deserve.
Yeah. Before we go this morning, I know we talked about some things that really are maybe controversial a little bit, but last couple of minutes with you this morning, there's some good things going on in our town.
Oh wow, we've got wonderful things. One of the best things is Booker's being open at 6 o'clock.
That's where you're going.
That's where I'm going when I leave here. There's about 7 or 8 of us guys that get together in the mornings, and we go down there, we have a good time, we drink coffee, eat a wonderful breakfast. A lot of people come in. You've got a lot of good things going on in this city. You've got day camp going on at the park. You've got summer schools going on with our literacy camps and whatnot, trying to help people how to do math and read at all of our Sylacauga City schools. I mean, we've got a lot of good things going on in the town, and I'm proud to be from Sylacauga. I love my small town. This is my hometown. I take it personally when people talk about our town. You know, we've got a good fire department. We've got a good street and police department. You've got a new interim chief in the PD that's changing some things already. Then we're going in the right direction. We're solving some crimes. We're getting things together. So we've got a lot of good things going on, Jimmy Dale, and I'm proud to be from Sylacauga.
All right, before we go, when's the wharf going to open?
I think the wharf is November. December now, I saw he's doing some more work out there.
Put some brick out there.
He's putting some brick out there. I'm excited for that. I'm always excited for new businesses to come into town. So I think that's when that's going to take place.
Appreciate
Thanks for having me,
you.
Jimmy. Dan. We
You coming in.
appreciate y'all.
All right, man. We got more Daybreak just ahead right after this.